Okay, Derek back. Here's going to be a firing test for my assortment of long shots. I'm going to be standing 5 feet into my range, and you should be able to see the white cones, which will show you every 5 feet. The red cones are about the extent of accurate elite dart range. I'm using knockoffs right now, so the accurate range might be 20 to 25 feet for these. But you'll see where the red are. Yellow is about the extent of most of the older yellow end strike guns. More white cones. The blue is where white and a blue cone, where you see is where most elite guns shoot now. The very extent of most elite guns unmodified is where the 2 blue cones are, and most of my modded guns tend to be where the green is. That's 70 feet. Now if you see the 4 blue cones, that's the end of my sidewalk. That's about 71 to 72 feet. That's about the end of any kind of sort of accurate range. 1 out of 10 darts may get near someone at that range. But to start with, we're going to be shooting just a long shot. I got about 5 shots in each gun, and I'll show you the gun as we go. So taking about 5 feet off, so we got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. That was about 40 feet. Okay, I really should have read down the range for the numbers. That was about 30 feet. 30 feet. About 20. 20, 25. Okay, so you're looking somewhere in the 30-foot range for a sniper rifle. And this is the gun as is. This was a used lot off eBay. And we put this guy down. We don't need him anymore. See you, buddy. Okay, next, I'll be showing you a long shot with the locks and the air restrictor removed. And I gave myself a little note right there. So this is with the air restrictor removed. There are no extra springs in this. Okay, that was about 35, 40, 45, more like 40. Off to the side, about 50. Accurate, pretty much down the middle, but about 35 to 40 feet. And I'm standing 5 feet back now, so it might be hard for you to see. I may go back forward. So 10 to 15 feet, more feet. And when I did test, went up from the 50 to 54 feet per second of the original gun. This was scoring somewhere in the high 60s on average. So that is just removing the air restrictor. You can do that at home, and I can show you sometime, but there are plenty of videos showing how to remove an air restrictor. Now this is going to be a long shot with a Longstrike spring inside of the plunger and the air restrictor removed. And I've also taped over the plunger inside, add some grease to the O-ring, and let's see how this guy fires. Okay, that was about 40, 50. Okay, that ended just short of the 2 green cones. That's about 68 feet for me. Now my foot's right at the base of the range, so I'm shooting about 2 to 3 feet into it. So that's about 65 feet. 65. I ended up a little on that one, but the dart flailed around. Hilarious. 55 feet. Okay, that was it. So you're looking somewhere in the 50s or 60s. This gun was shooting around 80 feet per second. So not quite the 100 to 120. 126 I was getting out of a stage 1 and stage 2 kit with a zombie strike long shot mod, but not bad. All right, this guy has all the same modifications as this guy, except I accidentally drilled through the plunger hole. Now I love the paint job on this guy, but I destroyed the plunger inside. Had to use a lot of JB weld and fix it back up. So it's shooting about 5 to 6% less than this guy even after the fixing. So let's see how it shoots. Pretty accurate. That was about 50 feet, maybe 55. Off to the side, about 55, maybe 60. 45. 50. And about 50 to 55. So shooting a little less, but pretty solid, pretty accurate right there. And I took the the stand, so I can't put that one back up. All right, here is my snub shot, or got to figure a name for this guy, where I kind of made a stubbed off the assault rifle, so maybe a snub assault or something. But let's see how it shoots. I've had some issues with the barrel up front, As you see, I have to put it back in. Sometimes it just pops right out. I have to figure out some way to keep it glued in without putting on the dart tooth. About 50. And I just slam fire because my finger was on the trigger. Awesome. All right, let me get the stock out. That might help. It's so short that, all right. About 40. 50. Off to the side, about 40. So yeah, not shooting quite as hard as the other. But it mainly has to be with the fact I have to reseal the barrel up here. So once I get that figured out, it'll probably be close to the range of the other long shots. All right, now let's go for the bad boy. This is Kiop213's, and we're gonna see how he does. A nice Borderlands 2 paint job. First shot, off to the side, about 40 feet. Wow, that's hard to prime. Okay, 40. Man, this thing's shooting so hard it's killing the darts. Okay, about 50, 55 off to the side. And that was about 65 downrange. Yeah, that's it for my darts. So it looks like I'm gonna need higher quality darts for this guy. It's shooting pretty strong, and it feels like he's padded the back. I can't put the stock back in, and you see no jam door up top. But performance is in line with what I did with this guy right here, about 80 feet. So this might be about the extent of what you can do with a blaster, the Longstrike spring, outside of getting an orange modwork spring. So maybe reliably somewhere in the 55 to 65 foot range. So really cool paint job. I really like what he did. He gave me extra springs if I wanted to open this thing up and change some of the ability of it. And he even has PVC piping inside of it. I don't know if you can see that exactly in there, but you can see just inside. And that's it for the long shot test. I think I'm doing okay performance-wise. The one snub shot or kind of sawed-off gun, I need to get the barrel glued in. But by and large, they're doing pretty good. So I feel pretty solid about how I'm modifying these guns. You know, if I'm not going to go spend money on extra springs, I'm using stuff that's lying around, I am improving the performance pretty well. All right, guys, that's it for now.